The Real McCoys, starring Walter Brennan, created by Irving Pincus.
Want you to meet the family known as the Real McCoys. That's Grandpappy Amos, the head of the clan. He roars like a lion, but he's gentle as a lamb. And now here's Luke, who beams with joy since he may take Mrs. Luke McCoy. From West Virginia they came to stay in sunny California. Old Grandpappy Amos and the girls and the boys of the family known as the Real McCoys.
I thought you was down at the barn with Dr. Peel.
Oh, he's down there taking care of the cow. I can't do nothing to help him. I gotta get this goddamn fence fixed.
I sure hope Bessie gets well.
You know, she'll get well all right. It's me that's getting sick. So worrying about that bill that goddamn vet's gonna sock us with.
Look here, Mac has a new friend. Isn't he cute?
Well, what in Sam Hill kind of a critter is that?
It's a French poodle. I think it belongs to our new neighbor that just bought that fancy house up on the hill.
What do you reckon he got sick from?
He isn't sick.
Well, if he ain't sick, how come his hairs are falling out?
It's not falling out, Grandpa. They shave French poodles that way.
Shaved them?
Uh-huh. That's a real valuable dog. You know, I wonder if his owner knows that he's down here. Well, I tried to shoo him home, but he wouldn't go.
Doggone it, I don't blame him. I wouldn't go back home if there's somebody shaved me half naked like that. I have no truck with a fella do that to a dog. Hey, Frenchie, go on home. You're half undressed. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Oh, shoot.
Well, who's this fella? Hello there, Pooch. Hello there.
Hello there, fella.
How's Bessie, Dr. Peel?
Oh, she'll be a little drowsy for the rest of the day, Kate, but she'll be all right by tomorrow.
Well, sure, lucky it wasn't nothing serious. Just a little cheap, inexpensive cow sickness, 3 or 4 visits, you're okay.
Well, it was nearer 10, Mr. McCoy. But don't worry about the bill. I'll make it up tomorrow and send along to you.
Well, I wasn't worried about getting it. It was how much it would bothered me.
Take it easy, Grandpa. Dr. Peel ain't never overcharged us.
Yeah, well, maybe so, but I recall that bill he gave to George McMichael for doctoring that old horse of his, the one that died. $12.
Well, I don't think that was too much, Mr. McCoy.
Well, if you don't think it was too much for a dead horse, how much you figure in charging for a living cow?
I'll keep the fee as low as possible, don't worry. And I'll be around tomorrow to check up on Bessie.
Goodbye, Dr.
Bye.
Peel. Bye. Hey, Grandpa, there was no need to go carping at Dr. Peel like that about the bill.
Well, now, look, Luke, somebody around here's got to watch about this money and try to hang on to it a little. You know, it ain't like the chicken pox, you know. It's hard to come by, remember?
I won't argue about that, Grandpa. All I'm saying is...
Maurice, I beg your pardon. Oh, Maurice. Fancy. Maurice, come.
I think your dog came down to visit our Mac.
Say, that Frenchie's a pretty fancy-looking mutt.
I beg your pardon. This is a pedigreed dog, and his name is Maurice.
Well, I beg your pardon. And I'd beg the dog's pardon, too, if I could speak French.
We're the McCoys. I'm Luke. This is my wife, Kate.
Howdy.
This is my grandpa. And that back there is my little sister, Hassie.
How do you do? I'm...
I know you. You're Sterling Ames, the actor. I saw you in 3 Girls and a Monster.
One of my less noteworthy performances.
Oh, you one of them play-actor fellas?
Yes, I must plead guilty to that.
Well, it's sure nothing to feel guilty about, Mr. Ames.
Don't contradict the man, Kate. He knows what kind of actor he is.
Tell us something, Mr. Ames. How come you to move clear out here? I mean, being in the acting business and all.
Escape, Mr. McCoy. Escape from the chattering crowds and confusion of Hollywood. The endless procession of autograph seekers. People, people, people. In this pastoral paradise, we hope to find peace. N'est-ce pas, Maurice?
Well, I hope Frenchie here don't get too lonesome. There ain't many French-speaking dogs in these here parts.
Oh, that's quite all right. As a matter of fact, I'd rather he didn't associate with other dogs. It makes him nervous and difficult to manage.
Wouldn't care much about Mac here running around with Frenchie neither. We'd rather have him play around with American dogs.
There should be no problems, eh? Oh, Mrs. McCoy, perhaps you can help me. Who delivers your milk and eggs?
Our cows and chickens, mostly.
Grandpa, the man just asked you a civil question.
Now, you see, I need milk and 3 or 4 dozen eggs a week.
3 or 4 dozen eggs?
Yes. Maurice loves them.
He does. Well, there ain't nothing better for a growing dog like Frenchie. I mean, Maurice and nice fresh eggs. See, I tell you what I'll do. Seeing how you're going to be a neighbor, why, I believe we can take care of your needs. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I guess we could, yeah.
Our eggs are 60 cents a dozen.
That's for the medium grade A cake. Now, Mr. Ames, he'd want a large jumbo-sized triple grade A, wouldn't you, Mr.?
Well, I want the best you have.
Why, sure. Dog couldn't grow beautiful fur like that on a medium grade A now. Any fool can see that.
Grandpa.
So put Mr. Ames down for 4 dozen triple grade A eggs at 80 cents a dozen, and 5 quarts of triple rich milk at 25 cents a quart.
Grandpa, that ain't the
We'll
price.
deliver it in the morning, Mr. Ames, and you can pay at the end of the week.
Fine, Mr. McCoy.
No, just forget that, Mr. McCoy. I just want you to think of me as friendly, neighborly Amos.
All right, friendly, neighborly Amos. But just let's keep those friendly, neighborly prices within reason, shall we, Mr. McCoy?
You bet we will, neighbor. You ain't got a thing to worry about. Well, goodbye, Mr. Ames. So long, Maurice, old pal. 80 cents a dozen for the eggs. We get 80 cents a dozen for the eggs. We get 80 cents.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Shame. Well, this is just an easy way of paying off the vet bill instead of working ourselves to death. Mr. Ames is a rich man. Anybody can see that.
Yeah, well, rich or poor, Grandpa, Mr. Ames is going to pay 60 cents a dozen for the eggs and 20 cents for the milk, just like everybody else.
Now, hold on.
Grandpa, Mr. Ames is a neighbor of ours, and we ain't gonna cheat him.
Hand me the pliers, will you, hon?
Why don't you keep your goddamn credit to home?
Sounds like trouble.
Well, wouldn't you know it? It's Grandpa out there arguing with Mr. Ames again.
I thought Grandpa was gonna be so friendly with him.
Yeah, well, he was friendly when the eggs was 80 cents a dozen, but at 60 cents, he can't stand him.
How should I know why your goddamn animal comes down here? We sure didn't invite him.
Well, I wish you'd make a little effort to keep that dog of yours on your own property.
We don't tell Mac where to go. He don't tell us where to go. He's free to live his own life.
A little discipline wouldn't hurt him, if you ask my opinion.
I heard every bit of the conversation, and I don't recall it.
Recall what?
Anybody asking you your opinion?
Really now, Mr.
Now, really yourself, Mr. Ames. Now, look. If that dog of yours will follow his Mac around like you say he does, and you don't like it, well, you better keep him inside the house. He looks more like an inside dog than an outside dog to me anyways.
I don't see why I should have to confine Maurice to the house. If you'd be a little reasonable about keeping that dog of yours on your own property.
There ain't nothing reasonable about that.
What seems to be the trouble here?
Mr. Ames not only seems to be, he is.
Apparently, I'm wasting my time. Mr. McCoy, perhaps you and I can discuss this problem sometime without your grandfather.
Well, I'm sorry,
Mr. Ames, little Luke and Hassie took your milk and eggs up to you this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, be careful. I've hit my back. Easy there. Easy.
Well, we better take him into the house.
Yeah, Grandpa, you take his legs. I'll get his careful of my back. Will, be careful now. Just help him up there, Grandpa. Get him up there. No! Oh, watch him up there, Grandpa.
Goddamn actors all are showing off.
Sorry about that there hole, Mr. Ames. It's too late to do anything about the hole in the ground, but I do wish you'd do something about closing that one under your grandfather's nose.
Can I get you anything else, Mr. Ames?
No, thanks.
Boy, wait till I tell the girls that I brought water to Sterling Ames.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, well, thanks a lot, operator. Oh, have you got our telephone number? Yeah, that's right. Okay, thank you very much. Goodbye. You know, the operator's going to try to reach your Dr. Hastings. Seems like he's at a convention up in San Francisco, and they don't know how long it'll take to get a hold of him.
We've got a couple of good doctors around here, Mr. Ames.
Oh, no, thank you, Mrs. McCoy. I have a very tricky back with which Dr. Hastings alone is quite familiar. Oh, it's killing me.
Well, if you watched out where you was putting your big feet, it wouldn't have happened.
Seems to me that you might be more careful about the condition of your property. I mean, after all, leaving open holes in the ground is inviting trouble.
There he goes, getting ready to sue. That's the way them Hollywood fellas makes all their money, acting and suing. Well, Mr. Ames, I ain't saying that's what you had in mind, but if that's what you're building up to, suing us would be like trying to get blood out of a turnip.
Must we add him to injury? Grandpa, will you hush up?
We're We're awful sorry about this, Mr. Ames.
Yeah, we really should have covered up that post hole.
What post hole? I didn't see no post hole.
Grandpa.
He tripped over his own foot, but I didn't see nothing else.
Grandpa, will you quit talking like that?
Come in.
Hello, folks.
Oh, hi, Dr. Peel.
I just came by to check up on my patient and, well, what have we here?
Oh, Dr. Peel, this is Mr. Ames. Mr. Ames, Dr. Peel.
Well, hello, Mr. Ames.
Mr. Ames hurt his back. We've just been trying to get his doctor in Los Angeles, but he seems to be away at a convention or something.
Well, as long as you're here, Doctor, you might as well have a look at me.
Oh, hey, that's a good idea, Doctor.
Well, a human back is a little out of my line.
I don't want you to operate. Just see whether you can make me a little more comfortable. It's killing me.
Well, let's have a look-see. Let's pull your shirt up here.
Oh, Sugar Babe, maybe we better go outside while the doctor's doing his examining.
Well, I think of it, I brought you a bill.
Oh, thank you, Doctor.
How much is it, Luke? How much these stickers for? Come on.
$30.
$30! Oh, now, Doc. I know we're just a-busting with laughter, but now give us the real bill.
That's it, Mr. McCoy. And I thought it was quite reasonable.
Reasonable? Oh! We ain't got but $32 in the cookie jar. That's all we got to our name.
Will you hush up?
Grandpa, do you mind not airing the family wash in front of the neighbors? Now, come on now.
Look,
That's
something needs fixing. We ain't paid last month's gas bill, and now we get hit with this.
Now,
Grandpa,
Grandpa, talk about it now.
Well, I can't be sure, but I'd say you have some sprain under the withers. Of course, with a fall like that, it's a wonder you didn't split your hoof. Big will, Father. I've got some liniment in here someplace. Needle, pills, thermometer, everything but liniment. Ah, here it is, hiding under my chicken pacifier.
What kind of a doctor are you, anyway?
I'm a licensed veterinarian, Mr. Ames.
What?
Sorry, I thought you knew. I won't lay a finger on you if you say not to.
Well, I have nothing against you personally, Doctor. It's just that I'd like to have a doctor.
Don't say another word. I'm used to people thinking they're superior to animals. It's a common delusion. Well, I'd better get out to the barn and check up on my patient. So long, Mr. Ames. I hope you'll be feeling better.
Senor Ames,
What are you?
how would you like to discover me for pictures?
Oh, no. Would you please answer that telephone?
Hello, I am Pepino. Who are you? Dr. Hastings talking from San Francisco?
That's my doctor. Will you tell him I'm here?
Yes, sir. He's right here laying on the couch. No, sir. He cannot come to the phone. He stepped in a post hole. But Senor Grandpa said he tripped over his own feet. He says, what hurts you?
The left side right under the shoulder.
His left side right under the shoulder. The pain, is it bad?
Excruciating.
It's excruciating.
It's bad.
Does it hurt you when you move your head around?
No.
No. That's good. See? See? Okay. Goodbye.
Goodbye? Did you say goodbye?
He said it first.
Well, what about me?
Well, he said you twisted the muscles you had when you fell off the horse last July. And you should lie down quiet and don't move. And if by tomorrow you don't feel better, you call him.
Oh, that charlatan. That impostor.
Now, let's go back to where were we? Do you know of anybody who's looking for a short cowboy?
No, I do not.
See, girls, just like I told you, Sterling Ames is hurt.
Your hands is busy. He can't talk to you now. I got a great idea. Now, overthrow with a sore hand.
Just say with love to Agnes.
Now, girls, I was here first.
Get out.
You just hold on a minute. Who do you think you are ordering people around my house?
This is not your house. As far as I am concerned, this is my hospital room. And I will thank you and your family to show the common courtesy due a bedridden patient. I beg your pardon, a sofa ridden.
You get ridden, all right. You'll get ridden right out of this house.
I am not moving 1 inch. And if you so much as lay that grubby finger on me, I will sue you for everything you've got, down to the last straw in your miserable haystack.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Ames. Did you get some breakfast?
Yes, I did, thank you, and it was excellent.
Good.
Thank you.
Oh, sugar babe, I'm going to go into town, so I better get that $30 out of the cookie jar. I'm going to stop by and pay Dr. Peel.
Luke, we're running kind of short. Do you think that maybe we could give him part now and the rest later?
Oh, no. Grandpa wouldn't hear of it. I just had a talk with him. Didn't want to string it out. You know how he is when it comes to owing people.
10, 20, 30. That leaves us $2.19 in a cookie jar.
Well, there's one good thing about this. At least when the $2.19 is gone, we can go back to using the jar for cookies again. Take care of yourself, Mr. Ames.
Bye, Luke.
Mr. McCoy, I've come to a decision. I'm going to pay you $10 a day for my room and board while I'm here.
$10 a day?
It's a very nominal sum, I grant you, but Sterling Ames will not be the object of charity, particularly of your grandfather's.
Well, I understand how you feel, Mr. Ames, but we couldn't do that.
Miss McCoy, I insist. If you refuse to accept, I'll get up from this sofa regardless of my condition and leave this house immediately.
You can do no such thing.
Oh, but I shall. Injured back and all, I'll drag myself, even though the effort cripples me for life.
Please, Mr. Ames.
You'll accept my terms?
Well, I guess you'll leave me no other choice. But please don't tell Grandpa. If he knew.
If I know what? She was talking about me, wasn't she?
Now, why would anyone spoil a beautiful morning such as this by talking about you?
Come on, Grandpa, come to breakfast.
Hey, look, what in tarnation did Luke do with my razor when he got done using it?
Oh, Mr. Ames is using it, Grandpa.
Well, what right's he got to use it?
I'll return it to you when I've finished, Mr. McCoy.
Well, thank you. Thank you all to pieces. You used my nightshirt, you got my best blanket, now you got my razor. Is there anything more you'd like, Your Majesty?
Yes, you might shout the other way. You're causing a draft. Your razor, Mr. McCoy. The blade wants sharpening.
Where's my bacon and eggs?
I'm fixing your bacon, Grandpa, but I'm fresh out of eggs.
Out of eggs?
Oh, now, don't go getting yourself in an uproar. Have a cup of coffee, and I'll go out to the hen house and get you some nice fresh ones.
Well, if that wouldn't frost you. Ain't nothing eating in the house no more. Kate, you been feeding my eggs to this blasted four-legged powder puff?
Grandpa, Mr. Ames asked me if I'd give Marie some, and, well, he's our guest, too.
He ain't no guest of mine, and that Ames ain't neither. I've had just about enough of him as I can stand. And I'll tell you, he can shoot till he's blue in the face, but he's going to get that blasted carcass of his out of there right now.
Now, you stay right here. I wasn't supposed to tell you this, but... well, Mr. Ames insisted on paying us $10 a day for taking care of him. You stay right here. I'm going to answer the phone.
Do you mean to tell me that polecat had the nerve to insult us by offering money for our hospitality?
He was only trying to be nice, Grandpa.
Hello? Listen. Hello? That's Ames at the telephone now.
Well, he couldn't, Grandpa. He can't walk.
Well, he walked to the phone all right. I told you he was a fake from the beginning.
I don't see why. Why would he do it?
Why would he do it? I'll tell you why he would do it. There ain't another motel in the whole world where he could get the service he's getting here for $10 a day. That's why. Now, I'm going to run that fella back up to his house at the front end of a shotgun.
Well, I'm not going to let you do it now.
Of course I can walk. No, I'll be here till tomorrow. Because they think I can't walk. But I want them to think so. Very well, I'll tell you. I like these people, and they need $30 rather badly, and I'm paying them $10 a day. Because I can't just give it to them. They wouldn't take it. Besides, there's a crusty old character here who despises my insides. For money, shoot me. Well, he's cantankerous, but frankly, I'm rather fond of the old buzzard. Look, I have to get back to my bed of pain. I'll speak to you tomorrow, huh? Now, see you then.
Oh, Mr. McCoy. This is a most unique sofa. It's the only one I've ever seen on which the cushions were apparently stuffed with golf balls.
Still belly aching, ain't you? How's your back?
I can't walk yet, but I am counting the minutes.
You're anxious to get out of here, ain't you?
The correct word would be eager.
Well... Look out! The soapy's on fire!
Where?
I watched you, didn't I? I told you he was a bad actor.
Dirty trick like that could come only from a crooked mind and a black heart.
There you go, talking about yourself again.
Come over here, man.
What you up to now? Is that the hand of friendship, or do you want an Indian wrestle?
Friendship. Amos, I want you to know that despite your cantankerous disposition, I like you very much and would consider it a privilege to call you my friend. Well, what about it?
Come on, Grandpa.
Don't rush me. Mr. Ames?
Yeah?
55 cents for the eggs and 18 cents for the milk. Here. We sure didn't invite him.
Well, I wish you'd make a little effort to keep that dog of yours on your own property.
We don't tell Mac where to go. He don't tell us where to go. He's free to live his own life.
A little discipline wouldn't hurt him if you asked my opinion.
I heard every bit of the conversation, and I don't recall it.
Recall what?
Anybody asking you your opinion?
Really now, Mr. Moore?
Now, really yourself, Mr. Ames. Now, look. If that dog of yours will follows Mac around like you say he does, and you don't like it, well, you better keep him inside the house. He looks more like an inside dog than an outside dog to me anyways.
I don't see why I should have to confine Maurice to the house if you'd be a little reasonable about keeping that dog of yours on your own property.
There ain't nothing reasonable about that.
What seems to be the trouble here?
Mr. Ames not only seems to be, he is.
Apparently, I'm wasting my time. Mr. McCoy, perhaps you and I can discuss this problem sometime without your grandfather.
Well, I'm sorry,
Mr. Ames, little Luke and Hatchie took your milk and eggs up to you this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, be careful. I'll get it right back.
Easy there. Easy.
Well, we better take him into the house.
Yeah, Grandpa, you take his legs. I'll get his
Careful
shoulder.
of my back.
Will, be careful now. Just help him up there, Grandpa. Get him out there.
No!
Oh! Watch him up there, Grandpa.
God done actors all are showing off.
Sorry about that there hole, Mr. Ames.
It's too late to do anything about the hole in the ground, but I do wish you'd do something about closing that one under your grandfather's nose.
Can I get you anything else, Mr. Ames?
No, thank you.
Boy, wait till I tell the girls that I brought water to Sterling Ames.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, well, thanks a lot, operator. Oh, have you got our telephone number? Yeah, that's right. Okay, thank you very much. Goodbye. You know, the operator's going to try to reach your Dr. Hastings. Seems like he's at a convention up in San Francisco, and they don't know how long it'll take to get a hold of him.
We've got a couple of good doctors around here, Mr. Ames.
Oh, no, thank you, Mrs. McCoy. I have a very tricky back with which Dr. Hastings alone is quite familiar. Oh, it's killing me.
Well, if you watched out where you was putting your big feet, it wouldn't have happened.
Seems to me that you might be more careful about the condition of your property. I mean, after all, leaving open holes in the ground is inviting trouble.
There he goes, getting ready to sue. That's the way them Hollywood fellas makes all their money, acting and suing. Well, Mr. Ames, I ain't saying that's what you had in mind, but if that's what you're building up to, suing us would be like trying to get blood out of a turnip.
Must we add him to injury?
Grandpa, will you hush up?
We're awful sorry about this, Mr. Ames.
Yeah, we really should have covered up that post hole.
What post hole? I didn't see no post hole.
Grandpa.
He tripped over his own foot, but I didn't see nothing else.
Grandpa, will you quit talking like that?
Come in.
Hello, folks.
Oh, hi, Dr. Field.
I just came by to check up on my patient and, well, what have we here?
Oh, Dr. Peel, this is Mr. Ames. Mr. Ames, Dr. Peel.
Well, hello, Mr. Ames.
Mr. Ames hurt his back. We've just been trying to get his doctor in Los Angeles, but he seems to be away at a convention or something.
Well, as long as you're here, Doctor, you might as well have a look at me.
Oh, hey, that's a good idea, Doctor.
Well, a human back is a little out of my line.
I don't want you to operate. Just see whether you can make me a little more comfortable. It's killing me.
Well, let's have a look-see. Let's pull your shirt up here.
Oh, it's sugar, babe. Maybe we better go outside while the doctor's doing his examining.
Well, I think of it, I brought you a bill.
Oh, thank you, Doctor.
How much is it, Luke? How much these stickers for? Come on.
$30.
$30! Oh, now, Doc. I know we're just a-busting with laughter, but now give us the real bill.
Well, that's it, Mr. McCoy. And I thought it was quite reasonable.
Reasonable? Oh! We ain't got but $32 in the cookie jar. That's all we got to our name.
Will you hush up?
Grandpa, do you mind not airing the family wash in front of the neighbors? Now, come on now.
Look, the pump needs fixing. We ain't paid last month's gas bill, and now we get hit with this.
Now,
Grandpa,
we'll talk about it now. Well, I can't be sure, but I'd say you have some sprain under the withers. Of course, with a fall like that, it's a wonder you didn't split your hoof. Big will, Father. I've got some liniment in here someplace. Needle, pills, monitor, everything but liniment. Ah, here it is, hiding under my chicken pacifier.
What kind of a doctor are you, anyway?
I'm a licensed veterinarian.
Maurice loves them.
He does. Well, there ain't nothing better for a growing dog like Frenchie. I mean, Maurice and nice fresh eggs. See, I tell you what I'll do. Seeing how you're going to be a neighbor, why, I believe we can take care of your needs. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I guess we could, yeah.
Our eggs are 60 cents a dozen.
That's for the medium grade A cake. Now, Mr. Ames, he'd want a large jumbo-sized triple grade A, wouldn't you, Mr.?
Well, I want the best you have.
Why, sure. Dog couldn't grow beautiful fur like that on a medium grade A now. Any fool can see that.
Grandpa.
So put Mr. Ames down for 4 dozen triple grade A eggs at 80 cents a dozen, and 5 quarts of triple rich milk at 25 cents a quart.
Grandpa, that ain't the
We'll
price.
deliver it in the morning, Mr. Ames, and you can pay at the end of the week.
Fine, Mr. McCoy.
Now, yes, forget that, Mr. McCoy. I just want you to think of me as friendly, neighborly Amos.
All right, friendly, neighborly Amos. But just let's keep those friendly, neighborly prices within reason, shall we, Mr. McCoy?
You bet we will, neighbor. You ain't got a thing to worry about. Well, goodbye, Mr. Ames. So long, Maurice, old pal. 80 cents a dozen for the eggs. We get 80 cents a dozen for the eggs. We get 80 cents.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Shame. Well, this is just an easy way of paying off the vet bill instead of working ourselves to death. Mr. Ames is a rich man. Anybody can see that.
Yeah, well, rich or poor, Grandpa, Mr. Ames is going to pay 60 cents a dozen for the eggs and 20 cents for the milk, just like everybody else.
Now, hold on.
Grandpa, Mr. Ames is a neighbor of ours, and we ain't gonna cheat him.
Hand me pliers, will you, hon? Why don't you keep your goddamn trinity to home?
Sounds like trouble. Well, wouldn't you know it? Grandpa out there arguing with Mr. Ames again.
I thought Grandpa was gonna be so friendly with him.
Yeah, well, he was friendly when the eggs was 80 cents a dozen, but at 60 cents, he can't stand him.
Should I know why your goddamn animal comes down?
The Real McCoys, starring Walter Brennan, created by Irving Pincus.
Want you to meet the family known as the Real McCoys. That's Grandpappy Amos, the head of the clan. He roars like a lion, but he's gentle as a lamb. And now here's Luke, who beams with joy since he may take Miss Luke McCoy. From West Virginia they came to stay in sunny California. Oh, Grandpappy Amos and the girls and the boys of the family known as the Real McCoys.
I thought you was down at the barn with Dr. Peel.
Oh, he's down there taking care of the cow. I can't do nothing to help him. I gotta get this goddamn fence fixed.
I sure hope Bessie gets well.
You know, she'll get well all right. It's me that's getting sick. So worrying about that bill that goddamn vet's gonna sock us with.
Look here, Mac has a new friend. Isn't he cute?
Well, what in Sam Hill kind of a critter is that?
It's a French poodle. I think it belongs to our new neighbor that just bought that fancy house up on the hill.
What do you reckon he got sick from?
He isn't sick.
Well, if he ain't sick, how come his hairs are falling out?
It's not falling out, Grandpa. They shave French poodles that way.
Shaved him.
Uh-huh. That's a real valuable dog. You know, I wonder if his owner knows that he's down here.
Well, I tried to shoo him home, but he wouldn't go.
Doggone it, I don't blame him. I wouldn't go back home if there's somebody shaved me half naked like that. I have no truck with a fella do that to a dog. Hey, Frenchie, go on home. You're half undressed. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Oh, shoot.
Well, who's this fella? Hello there, Pooch. Hello there.
Hello there, fella.
How's Bessie, Dr. Peel?
Oh, she'll be a little drowsy for the rest of the day, Kate, but she'll be all right by tomorrow.
Well, sure lucky it wasn't nothing serious. Just a little cheap, inexpensive cow sickness, 3 or 4 visits, you're okay.
Well, it was nearer 10, Mr. McCoy. But don't worry about the bill. I'll make it up tomorrow and send along to you.
Well, I wasn't worried about getting it. It was how much it would bothered me.
Take it easy, Grandpa. Dr. Peel ain't never overcharged us.
Yeah, well, maybe so, but I recall that bill he gave to George McMichael for doctoring that old horse of his, the one that died. $12.
Well, I don't think that was too much, Mr. McCoy.
Well, if you don't think it was too much for a dead horse, how much you figure in charging for a living cow?
I'll keep the fee as low as possible, don't worry. And I'll be around tomorrow to check up on Bessie.
Goodbye, Dr. Peel. Bye. Hey, Grandpa, there was no need to go carping at Dr. Peel like that about the bill.
Well, now, look, Luke, somebody around here's got to watch about this money and try to hang on to it a little. You know, it ain't like the chicken pox, you know. It's hard to come by, remember?
I won't argue about that, Grandpa. All I'm saying is...
Maurice, I beg your pardon. Oh, Maurice. Fancy. Maurice, come.
I think your dog came down to visit our Mac.
Say, that Frenchie's a pretty fancy-looking mutt.
I beg your pardon. This is a pedigreed dog, and his name is Maurice.
Well, I beg your pardon. And I'd beg the dog's pardon, too, if I could speak French.
We're the McCoys. I'm Luke, and this is my wife, Kate.
Howdy.
And this is my grandpa. And that back there is my little sister, Hassie.
How do you do? I'm...
I know you. You're Sterling Ames, the actor. I saw you in 3 Girls and a Monster.
One of my less noteworthy performances.
Oh, you one of them play-actor fellas?
Yes, I must plead guilty to that.
Well, it's sure nothing to feel guilty about, Mr. Ames.
Don't contradict the man, Kate. He knows what kind of actor he is.
Tell us something, Mr. Ames. How come you to move clear out here? I mean, being in the acting business and all.
Escape, Mr. McCoy. Escape from the chattering crowds and confusion of Hollywood. The endless procession of autograph seekers. People, people, people. In this pastoral paradise, we hope to find peace. N'est-ce pas, Maurice?
Well, I hope Frenchie here don't get too lonesome. There ain't many French-speaking dogs in these here parts.
Oh, that's quite all right. As a matter of fact, I'd rather he didn't associate with other dogs. It makes him nervous and difficult to manage.
Wouldn't care much about Mac here running around with Frenchie, neither. We'd rather have him play around with American dogs.
There should be no problems, eh? Oh, Mrs. McCoy, perhaps you can help me. Who delivers your milk and eggs?
Our cows and chickens, mostly.
Grandpa, the man just asked you a civil question.
Now, you see, I need milk and 3 or 4 dozen eggs a week.
3 or 4 dozen eggs?
Yes.